Share with you something I learned in LeadWorthy. So everyone has those bad days, and they let everyone know that they're having a bad day. Well, this class taught me and showed me how I can turn that around and not be so negative around the people around. I'm sorry, I keep saying around a lot. Around me, and yeah. So attitude determines everything in life, and what kind of vibes you give off. And LeadWorthy has taught me how to control that and give a good impression and not be so mean and rude around people. And I just shared something that I learned in LeadWorthy and why it's important.
So, like in 2016, like a few years ago, when my grandpa passed, I didn't know what to do. Mom was all over the place in class. I was popping up at teachers, being disrespectful, and just pushing other kids around just because I was bad over something tragic like that. So today, I will tell you something in LeadWorthy that I learned a lot. Something in LeadWorthy that I learned was self-motivation. Basically, motivate yourself, pump yourself up, encourage yourself. And back then, that's what I tried to do a lot. And sometimes it didn't work, sometimes it did. Because the environment around me was like my mom, my grandma, my uncle, they were all like sad as real. So like I had to try to escape from that environment and try to go somewhere else that was like good and happy or whatever. So that's what I did most of the time, and I actually like got over it like in a couple of weeks or whatever. And like I got out of trouble a lot because of that stuff. I started making smart decisions, and I wasn't popping off with the teachers as much. And what I want to leave y'all with today is self-motivation. It's good in those situations that you think that it's not going to work out, and self-motivation can sometimes make it work out. And that's a lesson I learned in Team LeadWorthy.
The lesson I learned in LeadWorthy is how to control my attitude and not let it affect or ruin my day or others. I learned how it could affect me in a good or even a bad way. It could really change my mindset about things. And another thing I learned is the opposite skills, because if I'm in a bad mood, I can think about that and use those skills. And it can help me if I'm in a bad situation. And today I just told you about a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy.
Okay, so this year I had a goal, and it was try to get good grades, but that kind of didn't work out. And so today I'm going to tell you about a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy and why it's important. So in the first 6 weeks of LeadWorthy, we learned about growth mindset versus fixed mindset, and I really didn't pay attention to that. I was like, oh, I don't need to know this. This won't help me at all, but I was wrong. A few weeks later, I got a report card back and I had a failing grade in one class. I wasn't too happy. With my mom, I got grounded for that. And so, at that time, I realized about the lessons that Herrick taught us about growth versus fixed mindset. And I was like, wow, I kind of have a fixed mindset. I was like, this feels weird. And so then I was like, I need to have a growth mindset. And so I started studying for that class more and working harder. And then we got our next report card back, and I found that I was passing, and so I was pretty happy about that. And so then I realized at that time I had a growth mindset, so I was doing what I needed to do. And today I just told you about a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy and why it's important.
have friends, right? Hopefully. I'm sure you also have people you don't particularly like or get along with or hate. Today I'm going to tell you about a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy. So, I, in my life, generally get along with most people. This year I learned the exception. In this class we've had many different seating charts, but there's this one, which I'm not going to say who I sat with, but I did not click with these people. We just don't work well together, and not everyone's going to. But as Mr. Herrick said in a lesson, teamwork makes the dream work. And I know that sounds cliche, but it really does. Teamwork is everywhere. You have to learn to get along with people, even if you don't like them. Some people you're not going to get along with, but you still have to learn to work together. So, you got to work together. Here's an example. Say you're in like science class or something. You're doing a PowerPoint, and you're just with these people who they all want to go take different directions. Like you want to do this slide, but the same person wants to, but a different person also wants to do that same slide. It's a whole mess. You end up getting nothing done. You have to learn to compromise, to work together. Teamwork is everywhere in almost every modern job. Construction, architecture, nursing, anything you can think of, teamwork is there. Today, I've told you about a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy. You're not going to get along with everyone, too bad. Thank you.
Masks. Parties happen. So do our minds. We cover up our true selves just to fit in. Today I will tell you a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy. Hi, my name is Brooke Heido. I am a 13-year-old 7th grade girl who goes to a school where people change people. People say things that hurt others. I wore masks. I'm not going to lie about that. Not the kind at parties, but the kinds that go on our minds. I covered up my true self just to fit in. This class taught me that I don't need to cover up my true self, that the true friends will like the real me, and that it doesn't matter to them if I am weird or I'm quirky. Thanks to this class, I am myself again. Today I just told you about a lesson that I learned at LeadWorthy. I want to leave you with two things. First, there is nothing wrong with the real you. All you have to do is find it. And second, people may not like the real you, and the true friends will love it. You may not want to lose some friends that you thought were real, but suck it up, because true friends will stay. Thank you.
Self-motivation is a process where a person develops ways on how to keep his or her self-motivation at all times despite challenging times and without direct help from other people. Today I'm going to tell you what I learned in this class. I learned that motivation is a very strong tool we can use to get further in life and to achieve our dreams and goals. Setting goals for ourselves is something that I consider to be very important. I believe in always pushing myself further in life, physically and mentally. We all have different things or goals we can use to motivate us towards our end goals. In order for us to stay motivated, we have to have a goal and can be towards achieving that goal. For me, finding something that I love, that I enjoy to do, and setting the final goal of achieving it. My main goal that I have set right now is to work towards my education. It will help me get further in life. No one can push you towards your dreams. So just remember that you have to push yourself because nobody's going to do it for you.
So, while I was thinking of this speech, there were many things I could have done. Because since it's a lesson about LeadWorthy, I could have done it over the 8 cues of giving a speech, the hamburger bun method, power poses. I could have done any of those things. But I decided to go with one that hit me the most. Growth mindsets versus fixed mindsets. So this speech will be about a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy and why. So the first lesson that we learned in LeadWorthy, as you all know, was fixed mindsets versus growth mindsets. And the reason why that hit me the most was because I felt like whenever I was in my old Boy Scout troop, things weren't going so well. And I didn't give it my best, and I it didn't go very well. I had a fixed mindset. But whenever I came into this classroom and we first learned about that, I realized that if I could change my mindset, I could go further in life than just one direct path. So I started working harder, trying to be much more social, and just all around a better person. So this was a lesson that I learned about LeadWorthy. And before I go, I just want to say this. The founding fathers, or the delegates that wrote the Constitution, they had a growth mindset for America. They didn't, when writing a Constitution, they didn't say a perfect union. They said a more perfect union. First off, knowing that no one is perfect. And second off, knowing that America would adapt to what it is today.
One thing I learned from LeadWorthy is how not to be selfish. And one thing, well, the reason why I've been selfish before I came to LeadWorthy is before I took this type of stuff, I played on this team, and like we'll lose and stuff, and I wouldn't care. I only just care if I scored double-digit points. I have a nice box score, and there used to be this recording, and it's called Baller Vision, and they'll come out and record our team, and I'll just make sure that I get my own points. I wouldn't care for my other team. I wouldn't care about them. I don't care what they did. I didn't care if we lost or we won. But when I got into this class, it showed that how it helped me care about more than myself and start caring about other things, just benefit myself, not benefit other people too. And I started, once I came in this class, I started to notice how mean I am to about myself, and how mean I am to my team. And LeadWorthy helped me with that, and that's the reason why LeadWorthy helped me.
How wonderful would the world would be if we could take responsibility for our own actions? Today I'm going to tell you something I learned LeadWorthy and why it's important. I still remember at the beginning of the school year, I used to have a lot more homework than I do now. And I wasn't doing it. I would go home and do other things besides homework. Go on my phone or watch Netflix or whatever besides homework. So I started facing negative consequences. Consequences like my grades were going down, so that means I wasn't passing my classes. So what I started to do is I started doing my homework at night, which I was lazy, but I still had to do it anyway. And so because of that, I started doing better in my classes, and my grades did go up. And so that's something I really LeadWorthy and important. And to end this off, I'm going to say a quote. Taking responsibility means taking ownership of your own behavior and the consequences of behavior.
Okay, so in LeadWorthy, I would kind of join the class because I was in the ECA, and I never really paid attention at the beginning of the year. So maybe we studied something about the AQs on and their first impressions and everything like that, because I want to go to the NFL and I want to introduce myself to many of the scouts and coaches of colleges and the NFL teams. So I want to make sure I make a good impression on them so I can join the team. I never really thought about it as much until I went on a trip. I had to go back to California for a memorial. My grandfather died, and for a memorial I got to meet family members from the other side of my family. And being there just gave me a whole new practice on how to enter myself with the AQ. So I'm going to be telling you about a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy and LeadWorthy. When I got to Cali, it was kind of different because I thought it was going to be everything would be smooth, and we wasn't going to meet too many people, it was going to be most of the same people in my family. but I met more people me than I already had met in my family. They were like all around me. They tried to come for me and everything, but I really like people come for me all around me and everything. But my mom told me to give a great attitude and make sure you're positive. So I had this one cousin named Uncle Chris. Him and his kids came up to the bench to introduce themselves. You know, I stood up straight, I had a great posture, put my hand out, shook their hand, stiff handshake, and my uncle was like, young man, you give a great handshake. I like that, man. I like, thank you, man. And I was like, nah, I just wish this was my family. Maybe that could be a lifelong family that could help me get to the league or succeed in life. But being out there, they didn't really like, I could say, they didn't leave a permanent impact on me. Because I was doing it the whole time there, but when I came back in February, all of that just disappeared, I guess, because when we went to the store, we went to look at my ear spears. This is a surprise, and there's a lady there. She said, "You must be Dion." And I'm like, shook my head like this. Like, hold on, who are you? I didn't know who you were. And I'm like this. And she tried to shake my hand, and because I didn't know who she was. And I was showing bad attitude, and when I thought about it while I was in the chair, she was pushing my ears. I like, hope she don't mess me up, because I showed a bad attitude, and I didn't give her a great AQs when I was trying to shake her hand. I hope she doesn't think I'm rude or anything, but that's not the type of person I want to be being looked at. And today I just told you about a lesson I learned from LeadWorthy, and I'm gonna go with this. Practice your cues. I mean, you know, especially if you want to do something professional, especially like my athletes in here. Make sure you know them so that when you get to the point in time when you do them, you know you're easier to do them.
Okay. Imagine that you want to say something and the way you say it affects a friendship or the way that like someone thinks of you, or that you have a bad attitude about a game or an event that you want to go to and you lose that game, or you have a good attitude about something and then your attitude changes the way that you and your team plays. Today, I'm going to tell you about how attitude affects actions. This lesson stands out to me because I can relate to it in so many different ways. Ever since I was like 7 years old, I have always been told by my mom to watch my tone, and yeah, not in a good way. Like, I would always be like, yes ma'am, and I was lucky not to get like popped with the spoon, but I use this in life because when I speak or go into something, I have a good attitude, and I learned that like affects the way it can outcome. Like, if you go to like a game and or like a track meet or something, and you have a bad attitude thinking that you're not going to win against these people, then you won't have the mindset to win. Like, you'll have a fixed mindset, or you just won't think you're capable enough to do it. And like my coach said today, that he thinks that we're more capable than what we think we are, and that really like struck me because I don't think I'm that capable, but he thinks I am. And my mom always told me that to watch my tone, and whenever I hear this, I understand it in so many ways because it's true, because I do need to watch my tone. And I feel like it's similar to attitude, and I have had better relationships and friendships and like conversations with people based on my attitude since this class. Today I told you about a lesson that I learned in LeadWorthy, and I learned that attitude affects actions. I have used this lesson in life in many different ways, as in like just to myself, to like talking to people, and talking to like other like people. And I want to leave you with something that if you have a bad attitude about something, then you're just going to tell yourself that you can't do something. But if you have a good attitude, you can tell yourself that you will be able to do it. Thank you.
When I picked this class, I only chose it for an easy grade, but whenever I started listening to the lessons, I actually became interested in it. Today I'll be talking to you about a lesson I learned from LeadWorthy and how it helped me. One of the lessons that really stuck with me for this right here was growth mindset and fixed mindset. And the reason why I was really stuck onto it was because I realized I had a fixed mindset throughout my whole entire life. Once I realized I had a fixed mindset, I started changing how I acted in my mind and in my actions. And it really helped me throughout sports and track, because when I wasn't doing well, before I was going to say that that wasn't what I can do, but this year I pushed myself and I did my last PR. And throughout school I've been doing bad and I've been getting back grades. My phone's been getting taken, I've been getting punishments, but this year I've been really pushing through all the tests and quizzes that I've been getting. I've been getting good grades or achievements. And today I just talked to you about a lesson I learned from LeadWorthy, how it helped me.
So you're not like filling up half the camera? Thank you. All right, gentlemen, I expect you to be quiet.
I know everyone has at least walked into this classroom once or twice, mad, upset, or tired of something that happened earlier on throughout the day. And you really just don't want to spend a whole hour just learning how to increase better in yourselves and how to be a great leader. Today I'm going to tell you the lesson I learned in LeadWorthy, and that is that negative situations are going to happen in life while you're trying to be the great leader that you want to be. There are many times where you're having trouble in life and aren't just going to have the best day. Most of our leaders have at least had one negative thought or attitude in the way of becoming the leaders that they are today. But in order to become a great leader, you still have to have a growth mindset. Every once in a while, a negative situation is going to happen. And whether you like it or not, you will most likely think negatively or get mad at the situation. Think about it like this. A bad attitude is like having a flat tire. If you have a flat tire, you can't go anywhere until you change it. The most important part is that bad things are going to happen in life, but you should still have a growth mindset about it. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But no matter what you do, you should still keep moving forward." This tells you that no matter the situation is, you should always try your best no matter what and keep moving forward. Today I'm told you the lesson I learned in LeadWorthy.
We are all guilty of using our age as an excuse, such as for getting out of situations such as like thinking about college or your career job. And I know I have. So today I'm going to tell you all about a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy. Now the main reason why I joined LeadWorthy, and don't get mad, Mr. Herrick, but I wanted to get in the same class as my friend, and I thought the elective would be a good choice. And judging that his mom worked for like schedules and at the school, I thought I had a pretty good chance, but that didn't work out well. But I'm still happy that I got in this class because I got to learn a lot about like life lessons and stuff and my character. That'll help me out later in my life. But one lesson that did stand out to me was that when Mr. Kyles, the guest speaker, came and talked about using your age as an excuse, this one particularly stuck out to me because I used this excuse a lot, especially last year when my mom would bring up college or jobs and stuff, and I would laugh because I was like, I'm only 12, why would I need to worry about that? And, but ever since I learned that lesson, I've been determined to put that into use in my life. So since it hasn't been that long since I learned it, I've actually just taken like baby steps on using it. So like if I'm walking around the neighborhood, avoiding my chaotic sisters, I will pick up trash and just put it in my pocket, and then when I get home, I'll put it in the trash can or something like that. And I hope y'all can do the same. So today I've told you about a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy, and I'm going to leave you off a statement. No matter how young or old you think you are, it's not your age, but it's your passion and determination that will help you achieve your goals.
For the first time, and you're nothing but rude and aggressive. Today I'm going to tell you about a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy. In the 3rd grade, during recess, me and my friends were playing basketball when a new kid came and decided to play with us. As we were playing, he was constantly being aggressive and rude and making comments about others. So the next day, for like the rest of the year, we never talked to him or like played with him. And it didn't take until 5th grade for us to finally become friends. It took about 2 years for us to become friends because of that one bad impression. First impressions are important when meeting new people, and that's why. That is a lesson I learned at LeadWorthy and why it's important.
Have you ever been in a negative situation where you think nothing positive could come out of it? So, Out of all of the things that LeadWorthy, this stuck out to me, and it was reframe. This lesson stood out to me the most because every time something bad happens, I just kept my past it and I always focused on what already happened. Reframing has helped me have a better view of the situation and look to the brighter side and just it's easier. When I'm mad or something doesn't turn out right, I typically look what I could have done, but that's not going to help because that was the past. So you look at the future and you see what you can do. For instance, when I'm playing tennis and the first couple balls don't go good, instead of being mad about it, you just okay, the next couple shots are gonna go better, and when you think positive and you turn it around, it's gonna be better. And it also helps when our friends are in a bad situation. This can help them to reframe, and it'll help them. Overall, that was my speech on how reframing can help you.
A lesson I learned at LeadWorthy, well, it's really not a lesson, but something I learned about it was how a handshake was very important. I didn't know a handshake would be that important, how a handshake could give you different type of benefits off just a handshake, and it could put you in a different level of other person just off a handshake too. So let's say you have a job interview and the first impression you get is how the eye contact and the handshake you make. And if you have a good handshake, some people, they might like you more than others because it might tell them that you are educated. It might show that you care. A good handshake could leave you off a good notes with people, and a handshake is, people can tell off a handshake if you take them serious or not, and off of eye contact too. And I guess I could leave it off with this. A good handshake might help you improve in your life. It's just something small.
Have you ever had a day where nothing was going your way and it just kept getting worse and worse? Well, today I'm going to tell you a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy about how a bad attitude has a negative impact. So one day I was playing in a baseball game, and we were down by 5 runs, and everybody was just getting down on themselves. Everyone was looking at the ground. They said we can't. They were saying we can't win, and they're just getting down on themselves. And then so the negative, it was negative, and it just kept rolling off of us, and we just weren't doing as well. The bad attitude just kept getting on to everyone. Then I tried to change. I got a better attitude. I was trying to help people out by saying we can do this, we can do this. But the bad attitude just stayed with them, and it didn't turn out that well. We ended up losing because everyone was, and we were still down. And, yeah. So today I told you a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy about how bad attitude has a negative impact on you. I wanted to leave you with this quote. Henry Ford once said, "Whether you can or you can't, you're right."
Alright.
Okay. So imagine if you're trying out for a team and you don't make it, and you have a bad attitude for the rest of the day. If you just reframed the situation, you would have had a better attitude for the rest of the day, and maybe you could have done something better that day. Today I'm going to tell you a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy. So reframing is turning a bad thing into something good. For example, you studied really hard for a test and you didn't pass, you didn't get the grade you want, you didn't get an A. Instead of being really upset the rest of the day because you didn't get a good grade on the test, you could have reframed the situation and be like, okay, let's say I tried, I'll get better next test, I'll go to tutorials, I'll do more practice questions, and next time you'll get an A. And you shouldn't, and reframing is good also too, because you don't have to worry about the little things in life, because you can do so much more than focusing on something so little and unimportant to that time. Like, for example, not making a team. It's really, like, I know it's important to some people, but it shouldn't matter. Like, it shouldn't make your whole day, like, bad. So reframing, like, helps you get over it and be like, okay, I'll try harder next year. You can do so many more things than worrying about one little thing at one time, because it's just eventually just going to go pass over you, and you'll be fine. And you're just wasting time, precious time that you could use for something else, for studying, for hanging out with friends, making new friends. There's so many more things you can do than waste your time worrying over something that already happened in the past. So next time something bad happens to you and you're just making the entire day bad, your attitude bad, your friends are noticing that you're really upset, you should just reframe the situation and realize, oh, at least I tried my best, at least I did what I could, and next time I'll do better and I'll be the best I can be. Today I told you a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy.
Some people go home wondering if they're gonna have food at the table to eat tonight, or sometimes go out running away because using it at home, the abuse at home might be too hard for them. Today I'm going to leave you with a topic a lesson I learned in team leadership. When I first came to team leadership, I thought it was going to be an easy A, but throughout the year, I figured out it was going to be way more than that. I would see people smile and laugh in class and have a good time, but when I leave the class, they will never smile or laugh and be down all the time. And this really made me think, like, why do people act so different in this class? And I just look around like it's a good environment, like Herrick does good about telling people like to cheer for people during good things, and to just have not to insult people and call fouls when people make other people feel bad. And it's really heavy because like this is really a place where people can actually be safe and be happy around. I want to leave you off with this. Remember, some people go through so much that you don't even know. I learned this lesson from team leadership. Team leadership is a safe place where you can express your thoughts in your mind. So if you don't have a home, team leadership is always going to be your home.
I've learned a lot in LeadWorthy so far. Lessons such as how to set goals and stick with them, how to control my attitude, proclaiming, and so much more. But one lesson that has stuck out to me the most is I possess. The lesson I'm speaking to you about is I possess. This stands out to me above the rest because each word in the acronym stands for a trait that all leaders should have, follow, and live by. I'll use I possess in life during those take charge moments and the situations that a leader is needed in. Social skills are very much needed when you're talking to an adult or introducing yourself. Empathy is definitely important, especially when someone you know is going through a hard time and they need you during it. Today I told you about a lesson I learned from LeadWorthy. I hope you learn from this too and use it.
Imagine if you drove all your friends away with your negative attitudes. You made them feel so bad about themselves that they just left you alone to yourself. Today I'm going to tell you about a lesson that I've learned in LeadWorthy and why it's important. The lesson I've learned is to treat others with kindness, because you don't know what they're going through. They might be having suicidal thoughts, or they might be having thoughts about harming themselves. You never know what a person is going through at home, and kindness is the best way to go with treating people. If you treat them with a negative attitude, that might just be the last straw of them going to kill themselves. So, the golden rule is you should treat others the way you should want to be treated.
And if you wanted to be treated right, you should always treat others right too. Once, my friends and I were at the park and we had this other friend, but she wasn't really close with us, so we were making fun of her behind her back and she hurt us. The next day, we found out she was in the ER because she was trying to jump out of a moving car. And it really affected me because it was just a single word that was really mean, but we really never should have uttered it. This caused her to almost kill herself and caused a burden of guilt on us. So you should always treat others with kindness because you never know what's going to come and bite you back. As we learned in LeadWorthy, it takes 20 good impressions to erase a bad one. So you never should do the bad impression at first. Today I've told you about the lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy and why it's important. I'll leave you with this. Kindness is the best way to treat someone. If you don't treat them with kindness, don't treat them with negativity. Just don't talk at all.
Imagine like having a party like later in the day, but in the morning your mom tells you that you can't go because of like your grades or something, and so you just get like really mad, and she tells you instead you have to go to some family dinner or something that you don't want to go to. And so your attitude is just bad the whole time, and like you said, you're facing or you're depressing or something. And so today I'm going to be telling you a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy. Something I learned in LeadWorthy is that your attitude controls 100% of you. So like, say you're in a game and the coach gets on you for making an error or a mistake on the field, and then you're just thinking, all right, I'm not even going to try anymore since my best isn't good enough. And so you should do really bad the whole time, and you make every kind of mistakes, and so y'all end up losing the game for maybe something you did. And also, since I learned this, I've always tried to keep a positive attitude on everything I do. Maybe like in class when it's like really boring, I just try to keep a good attitude, make sure I keep my grades up, and so that I can succeed in like school and life and stuff. And so today I said something I learned in LeadWorthy, and something I want to leave you with is to never be negative about your attitude, because your attitude controls what you do, and maybe one day since you're in a bad mood, you might do something bad and then regret it.
In this speech, I'll be talking about a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy, and I'll also tell you how it affects my life and how it has made a positive impact on me. So ever since I joined the class, like Kevin said, I thought it was going to be an easy A. And one lesson stood out to me when Mr. Herrick said that leaders don't care what others think. And so to start off, I think there's a bunch of negativity in school when it comes to talking bad about others or even making fun of others. And one thing I've learned is that to not care about what others say or think about you. And most of the time, I get talked bad about, or I hear something that somebody says, I just shake it off and don't care. And ever since I started doing this, I've seen a positive change in my attitude and how it affects me and stuff. And I've been trying to like spread the word and tell other people about how this works. And ever since I did that, I've seen a change in my friends' attitudes too. In this speech, I just told you a lesson I've learned in LeadWorthy and how it affects me and why it's important to me.
Have you ever wondered how something so small can affect your life? Like, let's just say your finals, you fail it, you're like, okay, it's no big deal, it's just a final. And then you get to college and like, oh, you failed this final, we won't let you in our college. Small things can have the biggest difference, the most tiny thing. And so I'm here today to tell you a lesson I learned in LeadWorthy and why it's important. The lesson I learned is how important a good handshake is. Now, I've had experience, like I went to this festival, it was actually February, and I met this guy who was running for sheriff. I shook his hand, and for a second he just stared at me. He's like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 14. He's like, I don't believe you. And I'm like, why? He's like, first of all, you came up to me and shook my hand really well, which was really unexpected for someone your age. And the way you're talking, it just seems like you're like 18 or something. And I was like, thank you so much. He's like, you're really impressive. And then he asked me something that I would make him wouldn't believe. He asked me, when I'm running, I'm going to give some speeches here and there. Would you like to come speak for me? And I was just like, me, I'm just a kid. And he's like, but first of all, you give a good handshake. You'll make a good impression on a lot of people. And I was just like, thank you so much. It was an amazing experience, and just because I gave a really good handshake. Another experience was this morning. I shook someone's hand and they said, you have a really good handshake. You're very, very impressive. They were like, good handshake. And then they were impressed by me, and I feel like they respected me more versus if I didn't get that good of a handshake, they would have been like, should I really talk to you? I mean, that handshake is kind of lame, you know, you're not that mature yet. So that's the lesson I learned, is that how important the handshake is. Handshakes can give you opportunities and experiences that you never would have believed.
All right.
In the first 6 weeks, I had a growth mindset. I strived for my goals by trying to get all A's, which was actually really hard. This was very impressive because I showed growth mindset and I tried to strive for my best every day. And I wanted to get better every day too. I can do this. This will go great. Today I can reach my goal. These are the things I said and still say with growth mindset. Today I'm going to tell you something I've learned in LeadWorthy. Growth mindset is something we often think about when talking about a leader. These are the empowering phrases like, I can do it, I believe in myself, I will get better. This can really change how we view ourselves and how others around us view us too. With growth mindset, we have the choice to change how we think about ourselves to impact us better and the people around us. To strive for your goals and dreams, you need to put in effort with growth mindset. Today, I told you something I've learned in LeadWorthy. Henry Ford said a quote, whether you think you can or think you can, you're right. So next time you don't believe in yourself, try to change with growth mindset. Thank you.